up in that region. And that came through, so we're continuing to watch that area. I'm going to go back over and double check, see if I can see anything. I have a couple of radars here that I'm looking at other than the one that we use on air. So I'm looking at this one, connecting back up to the Weather Service to see if we've got anything here. 35-mile-an-hour wind over at Ingram Road in San Antonio. That's our latest report coming in. And let's see. Looks like we've got some reports of some heavy rain coming down and some stronger winds. Leading edge moving forward roughly at around 37 to 40 miles an hour. Okay, that's it. No reports of any tornadoes on the ground or any damage from anything like that. So we do have some reports of out near Ingram of 37-mile-an-hour winds with this system. So again, it does have some strong wind with it. It does have some lightning, so likely we're going to see a little bit of that activity as it comes through. Now, one of the big things we're going to be watching, of course, is the potential for more wind to get into the area, but it looks to me, particularly on this last radar image or so, let's slow it down, there we may have a little bit of a slowdown, it seems, particularly back out here toward this area here. We've got 320 lightning strikes there. We've got 270 here, so we're down quite a bit. The lightning number of lightning strikes is coming down. So maybe these systems are beginning to lose a little bit of that energy out there. We haven't done this here on air for a while, so let me show you something else that we usually look at. We usually look at how tall these storm systems really are, and we call those echo tops. So it shows us what the tops of these storms are. And we can get up here, and there's the top right there. That's the peak. That's 46,000 feet. We've got another one here at 41,000. You get up there near Canyon Lake, there's a 40,000 footer there. And then generally back up here into Bandera, they're down around 30,000 feet. And you come up here into northwest Bexar County, you got one little peak right up here north of Helotes at about 36,000 feet. Further back up into Hondo, there's a 45,000 foot. So you say, what does that mean? Well, the taller they are, the more energy they've got with them, and the stronger the system could possibly be, and bringing more lightning, bringing wind, bringing that energy and that heavy rain. So when we see these tops start to collapse down into that 20 and 30,000 foot range, that's when we begin to see the storm system lose energy. Now watch, I'm going to pull this back out just a little bit. Notice how strong they were further back the line. Back up here near Rock Springs, we were looking at 47,000 footer on the other side out toward Del Rio. That was a 51,000 foot storm. So in that time frame, from that's about 10:08, we watched the systems move and build, particularly up here to Kerrville. That's the one that had that 47-mile-an-hour wind. It had a 50,000 foot top on it. That's a pretty strong storm. Now we move forward in time just a bit, and we watch that big storm come right up over Kerrville. Now it leaves Kerrville, comes over here, and breaks out. So you can see right in this region here, it's only at 42,000 feet. So they tend to lose energy when they start to fall apart like that. And you'll see how those big reds have gone down, and now we're really broken up quite a bit. So these storms are losing a bit of their energy. They're starting to kind of wane just a little bit, so you can see that area up here to the north, particularly right here up over Johnson City, back into this region. Those storms have lost their energy. These storms back here, down toward Hondo, they still have a little punch yet, and we've got a couple of little storms right here, a couple of little cells that have a little punch yet back up toward northwestern Bexar County. So that's what we're watching at this point. All right, let's go back up. I'll show you those warnings once again. Whoops, walks away. There you go. So again, 12:15, we got another 15 minutes with this tornado warning, and all indication is they may let that one just go ahead and go away. The severe thunderstorm warning is up here till 12:15. We'll see if they're going to extend that or let that go away. Severe thunderstorm watch box remains until 3 o'clock this morning. That includes those counties there, these counties here, and back out toward the west. So that's still 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, the hail size, pretty big out there toward Brackettville. And as we get closer into Bexar County, we're not seeing very strong hail or large hail. And that's primarily because those storm systems are starting to collapse a little bit. We're losing some of that energy, and we're not going to see too much in the way of hail out of those things. Let's take a look one more time. There's that system. Yep, has pretty much moved across northern Bexar County now. And we're sitting at 1206. And that's pretty much what we were talking about earlier, that we were thinking maybe 11:30 coming in to the batch here. And there it is, right there at about 11:30-ish, 11:36 to be exact, comes across the county line. We missed it by 6 minutes, and then it moves across. So again, moving at a pretty good clip at this point. But again, most of the energy seems to be up here toward Canyon Lake and northward. We don't see a whole lot of lightning strikes up here across northwest Bexar County, which means we're just getting some good rain coming down at this point, and it looks good. So we'll be watching and see if we can get any more reports coming up from the northwest side of town at this point. We do have a weather station out there, and right now I'm seeing a north wind at about 4 miles an hour and temperature down to around 62 at that weather station up on the northwest side of town. Lightning strikes down to 34 now. Just 34. Another indicator, these storm systems are losing some punch, and it looks like it just may be a rain event at this point. Even the wind from this area right up into here where we're looking at in this square may be down quite a bit. Back up in here, I'm not getting any reports of really strong winds. On this weather station, I'm looking at north at 4 miles an hour. So as we go further back up, that's likely where we're going to see some wind. If there's anything left over with the storm system, it's up near north, make it in between Johnson City and Blanco and back out toward the east of that. That's likely where we're seeing that. Let me pull this back. We'll go ahead and put that back into motion and take a look at it. So there you can see what we're looking at. That back end of the storm system is kind of trailing just a bit, and we're seeing still a little stronger storm cell that's back out here toward Uvalde. That still has a little bit of punch to it. It's coming through Sabinal and Uvalde now. You've got that second little punch that's coming through. Let's see what we've got lightning-wise right there. 141 strikes for that one. And moving up here to Sabinal, we're looking at 132. So yeah, they still have a little bit of a punch going to them down here, and they're still probably putting down some pretty good rain. Let's see if we can switch over here. And I want to take a look and see if this computer model has, no, it doesn't have what I'm looking for. Okay, there I have another radar that I look at that will give me the precipitation rate that's coming down in that area right now. So let me go over there and take a look at that real quick and see what our precipitation rate has been for the last 1 hour and some of these things. Now I'm looking over near Utopia, and let's see what we've got. Hang on a moment. That looks like some pretty good rain coming down, maybe a little over an inch an hour coming down in that area. All right, I got a report here. 281 has been closed between Farm to Market Road 306 and Blanco due to power lines down. We've got power lines down between Farm to Market Road 306 and Blanco County. So some power lines are down. We've got some strong winds, straight line winds that came through there, and that's back up here in Blanco County. So let me put that into the stop mode. So that would be back up here. In this county, we've got some power lines down between 281 and Farm to Market Road 306. So those the winds have really been strong out there, likely gusting. We've got some winds gusting up to 22 miles an hour with the reported bitters in Blanco at this point. So again, Bitters and Blanco showing some 22 mile an hour winds. That's far and a cry from 47, but better than the 47 or the 50 that we were looking at. And again, it seems like most of Bexar County has kind of dodged the real heavy stuff. It looks like it stayed mostly north of us at this point. Let's go back up here and check these. So we're coming up here. It's 12:11. We've got a few minutes. And we'll see whether these two warnings, these tornado warning and the warning for the severe thunderstorm, is going to continue. Right now, it seems like most of those storms are losing a lot of their energy out there, and we're not seeing a tremendous amount with that. On the screen, you're also watching Trends Guide, so you can kind of see where we're getting some good rain. Up on the north side there at Redland Road, you can see it's raining Eisenhower. You've got some raindrops coming down there as well. Get over at Hebner, and the roads are wet. So keep in mind, roads are going to be a little slick. So if you're driving out there, slow your speed. If you get past 55 miles an hour, that's when things kind of go up and you can spin out. So be careful as you're going up there. Now let's take a look. Our tornado warning's out till 12:15. I know our little our lower third there says 12:30. It's actually 12:15 on that. I don't see a 12:30 showing up on my computer. So we'll have to wait and see if they're going to move that forward, because at this point everything's showing 12:15 here, but we may have a 12:30 extension that we don't see popping up, and it may extend in our computer systems just a little bit from now. But for now, this is what we're looking at on the advisories. We'll see if they're actually going to carry them much further than that. We just see little spins, but nothing, no reports of anything coming down on the ground at this point. We did get a report again of a 22 mile an hour wind back up toward Bitters, but that's all we've had for most of Bexar County at this point. Don't see anything else coming in. Let me get up here with my connection here, and let's see what we got coming in. Again, 35 mile an hour gust over at Ingram Road, and that's all I see there. Looking for more information here. Only the last data we've seen from the Weather Service is that 35 mile an hour gust coming through. All right, let's go back up to the radar again. We'll see what we've got going on. Let me come back to this image. So you can see how fast this thing is moving. It's already past most of the things that we're looking at. So let's pop this back up. We're going to take a look at this right here. This is the strongest area right now. We're watching that little bow that's coming out. This is the area that we're watching right there. That's got the strongest winds with it, most energy with it. You can see how this looks a little different back up here. You got some pockets of some heavier rain, but the lightning is down, the energy level is down. The energy level still continues to be strong, right up 281 on that corridor. And it looks like we've got a movement that's going to be carrying it out toward this direction here. So everybody out in Gonzales, in Delhi, and LaGrange, and Kyle, those are the areas that we're going to be watching to see this wind pattern move through, because we've had reports of 35 and 47 mile an hour winds up into Kerrville, and we'll be watching to see what the wind patterns are going to do, if it's going to continue to carry that right through that. So it looks like it may hold and keep that intensity as it moves down toward the south and southeast across that area. All right, let's get back. We'll clear some of this out here, and we'll look at, well, those lightning strikes are really starting to come down now. Let's take a look right there. That's 265 over that broad area right there. And just over the region where we're looking at wind pattern, that's 236. So Still has a little bit of a punch, but not as much of a punch as it had earlier in the day. Again, moving much quicker, the top half here moving much quicker than the bottom half. This bottom half back up here still has some punch to it, particularly back up into this region here from Uvalde, and it looks like we're getting another little batch. That's that second batch. It's already coming up through Del Rio back there. So let's get back over. We'll take a look at Del Rio, and we'll see what's going on. There we go, right there from Carta Valley back over to Comstock in Del Rio. Looks like they've got another little batch. That's that secondary batch that develops back behind that storm system to see what's happening there. And it looks like we've got a severe thunderstorm warning box. It's coming up for them. And going through, let's see what we've got. Looks like we've got another one coming up. Let's see if we can turn one of those on so we can see where it's at. There's the watch box. See if we can get the warnings in there as well. Don't see a warning coming up for that one yet, but it definitely has a little bit of punch to it. There's no doubt about it. And we're going to keep an eye on that one. You've got at least the watch boxes out, and let's see if we can punch one of the boxes out. There you go. So here we've got another one that's kind of showing up. That one looks pretty strong, so we'll pull this out here. We'll close that out, and we'll take a look at that. So again, keeping an eye on these things. There's the big watch box, the broad picture. You can see how that has come through. This is just the last hour of data, so you can see how fast this thing is moving. We'll go back 4 hours, and we'll show you what the last 4 hours look like. And here's what we're looking at. There's Bexar County. We're looking at just rain coming through the area right now. Nothing stands out at this point other than just some pockets of some heavier rain that's coming up through Bexar County. There you can see the lightning strikes are well down across the region. Let me pull this back up, and we'll take a look at this right here. Oops. Let's see. Let's put it in the now mode. There you go. This will show you Bexar County. 47 strikes, so we're transitioning to just rain at this point, and it's happening a lot quicker than some of the models showed, but we were seeing that earlier in the day, that's how fast things were going to move. So at this point, we're just looking at rain moving across the county. So that means that everybody's going to get some fairly good rain out across most of the region. Forecast models showed that we would see rain, and in reality, this is what we're seeing tonight. The rain should move through, and I would say within the next hour or so, start to taper off quite a bit. But that's a real quick look at Bexar County. We'll go back to those warnings. And sure enough, everything is cleared out. The only thing that we're left with is the flood watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. That's what's coming back through our computer systems right now. So no tornado warnings, no severe thunderstorm boxes at this point, but we'll go back and check on those to make sure. Estimated times, so let's see if we can do a little estimated time across Bexar County to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. The system itself in Bexar County not quite moving as fast as what it was before, so we'll back this up just a little bit. There we go. There's an hour's worth of time. We'll give you a look at what that seems like. There you go, right there. Now we'll go forward into time, and that'll give you an estimate of just how fast that's moving. That's moving around 45, 46 if we go straight across like that. Let's see if we can come back. Yeah. So roughly about 46 miles an hour. So it is moving. It's still packing a little bit of a punch out there, moving across the county. So moving at 46 miles an hour, that's going to move across the county in record time. So let's see if we can do this. You know what? Let me try that again. Here we go. We'll move this across. We'll go at 46 in this direction. That'll give you some rough times right there. China Grove at 103, St. Hedwig roughly at 112, and we're looking at Elmendorf at 144, San Antonio proper at about 1230. So we're getting really close to that. We're at 1221 now. So again, it's going to move across Bexar County really quick, and when it moves this fast across Bexar County, you tend not to get a whole lot of rain with that, because the faster these storms move, the less amount of time it has to drop rain in the area. So that's what we're seeing at this point. A transition over to rain, no severe weather, no severe thunderstorms with that. And just to make sure, we can go take a look at those echo tops again to see what we're looking at here across Bexar County. We've got a couple of little areas, it seems, that have some tops on them. That's about 37, so that's down below the 40 mark, down below the 40 mark, down below the 40, and down there. Most of this other area here should be in the 20s. So we've transitioned into a rain event at this point, at least for Bexar County. No activity other than some good rain that we really need. We've been below normal for so long. And so we really need some good rain. Let me see, I've got another report here, 32 mile an hour gust over in Ingram. A little gust around 45 at Ingram, that was about 1217. What else do we have here? These are unofficial reports, by the way. These are coming in from different reporters that are showing things in. Let me take a look at some of these areas here. And I'll give you another look at, maybe I can pull up another. Yeah, it seems the temperature is dropping quite a bit. We're down to the 60s up across northern Bexar County. And winds across northern Bexar County are generally less than 20, less than 15. There's still a little bit of lightning going on out there, but that's pretty much it. So we are just looking at rain at this point. So I'm going to put that back into motion. And you can see the pattern does look a lot different now. We're losing a lot of the reds, going back into the yellows and oranges. You still have a little bit of activity outside of Bexar County, back up along 281 and down toward Uvalde. But other than that, most of San Antonio is benefiting from a good rain right about now. Let's take a look out at TransGuide. You can see the roads are wet, so please remind yourself, just kind of slow down a little bit. Those roads are slick, and if you get to any area there where you may see a little bit of water over the road, you may want to remember, turn around, don't drown. That's the important thing to do. There's 281 going up. That looks okay so far. It's down to 37. Here you've got some rain coming down there near the tower. Boardfield got some rain up and lightning back on the north side of town as well. And we're looking at more rain coming down out in this region. Back out toward the west and down to the south. So mainly up across northwestern Bexar County, stretching into western Bexar County. That's where we've got the rain coming down at this point. So we're looking at some good rain, and it's beneficial at this point. So we're still looking for the potential of reports of any tornadoes that we've got, and have not seen any yet as of that. Nothing from the Weather Service office that said anything about that at this point. So that's good news, which means we just have some rain. I don't have any reports of very large hail or anything like that. We do have some of those reports of gusty winds in the 30s and in the 40s. That we had a little earlier in the afternoon, or early in the evening, I should say. But we did have the report of those power lines that were down up across Blanco County off of 281 and that Farm to Market Road, and that just solidified the fact that that part of the system was a little stronger, brought some of the stronger winds that are now passing through San Marcos, passing past of New Braunfels and out the door. So again, just a good rain event here for Bexar County. I'm going to leave the radar up here for just a little bit, and I'll be right back. The radar.
It'll be back
There you
up,
go.
yeah. I would wrap it through.
Use the other radar. Okay. Let's take a look at what's happening right now. We are watching some areas where still we've got some pretty strong thunderstorms. Those are the ones that were up north of us. You've got a thunderstorm warning now out till about 1:15 in the morning. You've got that flood watch that still remains out till 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Now, back up here in Bexar County, things have kind of settled down just a bit. We're transitioning more into a rain event more than anything else. The main lightning strikes are well up toward the north and northwest of us. We're going to reset that, but you can see where most of that has really pushed away. It moved a lot faster than what it did over the last 30, 40 minutes or so. This thing really picked up speed up on the north end, and so most of that now up in that Austin area, that's where we're seeing the most of the energy. Now let's come back up here into Bexar County, and we'll show you what we're looking at here. We've transitioned more into rain. And boy, this is what we needed for the month of October. We've been below normal with rainfall, and now we're finally getting some rain in here. Now we do have a little bit of some lightning. It's not bad, only 39 strikes, which was better than what it was. That means the likelihood of power outages is down quite a bit. But boy, we still have a little bit of a light show going on out there, and you can kind of see it showing up on some of the images that we have here, particularly this one downtown. Boy, you can see the nice rain that's coming through the downtown area right now. The thing is, you got to remember, slow down. You get on those roads, you kind of speed up. So if you're going to be driving anywhere, tend to slow down a little bit because those roads are going to be slick. I don't think we've got a low water crossing problem at this point. We did have some reports of maybe a little bit of water over 281 south from one reporter coming in. Again, it's unofficial. We don't see it too much here on the TransGuide images. It's coming up, but we've transitioned over to a really nice little rain event. And I'm thinking that's what we're going to see mostly over the next hour or so as we watch this system kind of move through. So let me clear this out. There you can see where the rain pattern now is, and it stretches out. We do have another batch. That's that little second batch. It's back up there toward Del Rio and Carta Valley. We're going to keep an eye on that. But meanwhile, it looks like good rain coming up from New Braunfels back up into Bexar County, over into Hondo, and back over down toward Uvalde as well. So there you go. You can see it. Good rain coming down. We could possibly get a little bit of the estimation of the rainfall rate, but let me see what we've got here, if we can actually get anything. There's what it's showing me, and we can see that right there. You got about a ½ inch of rain there, a little over almost an inch of rain here, almost an inch of rain there. And one little spot, a little over an inch and a half. So that's not too bad, 1 inch. And that's kind of what we were saying over the last couple of days, that we were going to see maybe about an inch to an inch and a quarter across the region. And there it is. We've got that inch of rain. A little further back out, there's an inch and a 30 coming up over the aquifer zone. We got about an inch and a half and 1.70, almost an inch and 3/4, inch and a half there. And again, the reason for the low amounts of rainfall, because this thing was just blowing through at about 47 miles an hour at one point, 58 miles an hour in one particular cell. So this thing just blew through, and the faster it goes, the less opportunity you have to drop rain. And so the only place where it really rained down and came down was well out toward the west here, just north of Del Rio. You can see some of that spot. We still have the lightning in there. Let me take that out. And you can see this is the area that got the most rain, up near Carta Valley. The estimated amount, 6 inches of rain back out here. And that's isolated. So for Bexar County, we're nowhere near that. That was when it was at its best and its heaviest and really, really big. So for now, that couple of little spots of rain, one right up here near Hollywood Park, that's where we got almost a little over an inch and a half. And up here at Timberwood Park, you got an inch and a third, which is not bad. So that's good rain that we're seeing out across the area right now. Really good. Some other reports coming in less than an inch of rain, which is okay. That's good. We kind of needed that rain to kind of help out quite a bit. So again, transitioning to a rain event tonight, mainly for Bexar County. That's all moving across the region now. And let me go back to the radar image so we can take a look at that. There's our precipitation rate. I don't know if that'll bring it up or not, but we'll see. There's the rain pattern. And the precipitation rate's coming in underneath that. So let me wait for it to load. We'll pull that out. There's where the precipitation rate is. So what this does is kind of tell us an estimate of how much it's raining per hour in any one spot. So there you got estimate of 5 inches. It may be just big raindrops, but again, these are estimated amounts. So again, we've got some pretty good rain coming out across Bexar County, but that's rain in an hour, and this thing is not just sitting there, it's moving. So you're not going to get the full benefit of that simply because it's moving too quick. And you'll notice this is just 1 hour of time. That's how fast it's moved in just 1 hour. And if we estimate that time frame, again, just giving a quick estimate of what that looks like, we can start with a point, move forward, and estimate the speed to the front of that thing, 35 miles an hour. So slowing down just a little bit. It was much faster earlier. So 35 miles an hour. And of course, it's like a car passes you by with a water hose spraying out at 35 miles an hour. You don't get full 3 inches of rain, but you do get some rain out of it. And that's good. That's why we're seeing just that 1 inch or maybe a half inch of rain coming in with some of this stuff, as opposed to getting the 2 and 3 inches. Now, if it just stood still, yeah, we'd get that, but that's not happening. So 35 miles an hour, let's kind of estimate that out. I may not have enough room here to do 35 miles an hour. I don't. Let me pull this back and estimate out 35 miles an hour. There we go. Let's do that. We'll come in through here, come in through there. We'll do that 35 miles an hour right there. So that'll give you some times of where this rain will come through. And again, they're estimates because it could either slow down or pick up speed. And I'm thinking it's slowing down. So we're thinking Jourdanton at about 213, Pleasanton 159, Nixon 147, Forestville about 145, and Devine around 109, Elmendorf around 104, and St. Hedwig at 1241. And again, these are just estimated times for you that we see out there with the rainfall. All right, let's pull this back. We've already looked at the hail, and we don't see much of that coming through. There we go. So we're back to that. Let me come back up here and check our advisories one more time. We'll take a look at this. There's the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, that's outside of our area. That's up there near Kyle. We're just in a flood watch, so there's no severe warnings for Bexar County. The only thing we're looking at is just a flood watch, and that's out for this area until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, that rain moving down quite a bit with a number of strikes coming down. So we've just transferred, or transitions, we might say, over to a rain event, which is really good for the area. So that's all we have for you for the moment. If we get any more updates, we'll be back. Kentucky.
So this is where the weather
Yeah.
towers are. And are these the only two that we have?
I'm sorry? Hang on. Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, well, that's typical.
Nothing to talk about.
People still have
I'm in
concerns.
The only thing that we have
They
working
come and
is
go,
is
so
Del
let's-
Rio. That's it.
Let's be there for them. People still have concerns. They come and go. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just rain. But the only thing that we have to talk about, it's up here toward Del Rio, and that's the only thing that's coming through.
Talk about? Are we on it? No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But there's nothing. I don't need anything. You can go back over to Chris' side. I mean, I'm just cruising along.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good here.
All right. If you need anything, let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
We're doing good, but you said you needed help over here.
No, I'm cruising, and I can't do the wall stuff because it's hand tracking doesn't work. Every once in a while, it just gets
I was walking. I didn't do
it gets. And talk about the rain that's coming through and just mention that we've transitioned to rain. Then if we want to talk about what's happening Del Rio, I can go back over there and focus in on Del Rio. Yeah, because they've got a warning up and they've got a pretty strong little storm up there. So I can do that. And the reason I'm not up on the wall is because the hand tracking's not working. Every time I push the button, it doesn't work. Yeah, so I can do it this way. So let me start up at the wall, and then I'll walk over here and finish up. And we can focus in on Del Rio. Well, we're continuing to watch what's happening in and across the region. The good news is for Bexar County, we are getting some rain. Finally. It's been a long time since we've had some rain, and this has transitioned over to a really nice rain event. We've kind of dodged the bullet when it came to the really strong, crazy stuff. Most of that now well out toward the Austin area. They're reporting some pretty strong winds there and heavier rain. But here, we saw this system kind of dive through and bring us some rain. Most of that lightning is well down, and it's gone now, and that's good news. So we're going to get good rain up over the aquifer. It's pushed out of Bandera County, moving down into Hondo and Medina County out toward Uvalde, but there's still some strong action going on out here toward Del Rio. We're seeing some strong lightning there, indication of a pretty strong thunderstorm in that region. Severe thunderstorm warning box out. So we're going to get over there and take a look at that and focus in to what's happening out there in Del Rio at this hour, because we've got a pretty good rain event going on for us, which is good. We need that rain. Let's take a look and see what's happening. We're watching this area here, which is just right up over Del Rio at this point, stretching back over to Pinto and Bracketville, and we're looking at it with the Bracketville radar. Let's first of all see if we can figure out what our lightning count is. And there's our lightning count. We're up at 403. So that's a good deal. That shows that we've got some energy going on out there. And we've had some reports from that area from folks saying, yeah, we've got plenty of lightning coming through here. And it's been a little scary for some of the folks out there. All right, so that tells us that. Let's see if we can find out what the precipitation rate, because that storm really is not moving that much. Let's see where we've done in the last hour. It came across the border and it's sitting right about there. All right, so we can kind of generate an idea of where this thing is going by kind of estimated a line there. Let's move forward an hour. And this will give us an idea of forward speed. So roughly around 29 miles an hour. Let's just round it off at around 30. So we've got a 30-mile-an-hour system that's moving forward roughly at about 30 miles an hour, which means it's going to be out of Del Rio pretty quick here. We're going to go forward 30 miles. And it should be at Bracketville, maybe 151 out in this area here if it continues to hold strong. All right, so that's that. That's one way of looking at it. All right, lightning strike's still pretty strong. How about those tops? That's the main thing. We're going to take a look at the echo tops on this to see how strong that storm is. And we've got some red coming back. That tells me that's a pretty tall storm. And sure enough, we're up there at 53,000 feet. Now, if you don't really have a good idea how tall that is, keep in mind the Tower of the Americas is not 1,000 feet. You'd probably need to add about 5 or 6 telephone poles on top of the Tower of the Americas before you really got to 1,000 feet. So add 53 of those on top of each other, and that's how tall that is. So that's taller than the mountains out in Colorado, definitely taller than the tallest mountain on the face of the earth. So that thing is pretty big. So more than likely, that's got some hail in it. So we're going to go look at our current hail analysis on that. And sure enough, there we've got a little bit of some hail. It's 1.3, so yeah, that's good size hail. At least that's the signature coming back on the radar. Let me check real quick over here to make sure I haven't had any reports of hail show up from the Weather Service. We've got a direct connection to them, and I don't see anything coming in from the Weather Service office as of yet. So let's get down in there and we'll see exactly where that is. Johnstone, so that's right over Johnstone. Del Rio itself is a little bit further back to the west. So that storm system likely brought some of that hail into Del Rio. Yep, it sure did, right there. So right about 12:30, we had some hail come through Del Rio. Estimated size 2.4 inches. So yeah, we had some good size hail move through, at least estimated size. We haven't had the reports in yet to make it official, but the estimated size, good size hail probably moved through Del Rio right around that 12:30 time frame. I would say right there, 12:30 into 12:31, 32, 3. So it moved fairly quick. it was a fast-moving system. So that hail got pretty big just outside of Del Rio. I want to check that out here. We got a little red showing up. That was 2.5-inch size hail. That's pretty big, estimated on the radar now. That's just an estimate. It may not quite be that big, but that's a possibility that's what happened there. All right, so that gives us an idea of hail. We've looked at the lightning itself, and we've looked at the rain itself. And so now we can go back to just looking at radar, and we'll see if we can turn that echo top off. And there's our system as we see it within the last hour or so. And it looks like it's going to be moving out of there. It's already leaving Del Rio behind. And so we're going to kind of put this into motion right there. There's the second one. The second one's moving just about as fast as that first one moved. Boy, you could see that. That's cruising along. 37, 30 miles an hour. All right, so let's go ahead and stop that right there. If that's moving 30 miles an hour, we're going to take the leading edge of that, move out to 30 miles an hour. There you go. That time frame has shifted just a little bit, so 125, 1256 for Pinto. So those are the two areas that are in the path of this thing that's moving along, and it's bringing some decent rain. We saw the precipitation rate within that, so let me go back and double check it again just to see if we can get another read on that. So likely we've got some pretty good rain coming down right up in that area in between Del Rio and Brackettville, just north of Pinto there, moved out of Johnstone. We can zoom in on that, and that's the area of heavy rain. Again, 7 inches an hour, but again, it's not standing still. If it were standing still, you'd get 7 inches of rain on there, but it's moving forward at 25, 26 miles an hour. So we're not going to see that full 7 inches of rain in that spot, but it does give me an indication that that's heavy rain coming down. And it's in pockets all the way up across that region. And it looks like it's moving directly eastward. So the path of that, if we were to look at the vectors with this, the pathway, that would be the pathway. North of Brackettville, south of Camp Wood, within that region, we're going to see this heavy rain, particularly this storm cell, move out in that direction. So all of this area here would get that heavy rain if it held together long enough to continue to rain at that rate at that point. All right, let's go back to the radar. And then we'll clear some of this out. There you go. Let's put that warning back in. There's the warning and the watches underneath that. So again, just for reference, the warning is up until 1:30 in the morning. So we're at 12:57 now. More than likely, since this thing is moving so quick, more than likely we're going to see an extension on this eastward. So don't be surprised to see this kind of put out. Now, if we notice the direction of the vector on there, the upper level wind is kind of steering this thing eastward like this, but the upper level winds are kind of steering it in that direction. So it's kind of moving along eastward, but at a slight movement, at a slight little push. So yeah, so we're going to keep an eye on that, particularly out for this area that is bounded by this region right up into here. That's the area we're going to keep an eye out for over the next 30, 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes or so as it moves out in that direction. All right, let's come back up. We'll put that radar back in again, and we'll take a look at the rain, and we'll clear this out. There you go. Put this back into motion. This is the last 3 hours of radar imagery that we're looking at. And you can see how quickly these bigger storms up towards San Antonio, there you see those bright whites on there coming in. That shows you that we've got some strong, intense rainfall coming down into Kerrville, and that really transitioned quickly as soon as it left Kerrville, it transitioned quickly into just rain event coming across Bexar County. And so let's get back into Bexar County real quick. Just to reassure everyone, we don't have anything severe. It's just good rain. And if we put the lightning back in again, let's see if we can get back in there and drop that lightning back in. There you go. Lightning's in, and we don't see a whole lot of it out across Bexar County, which is good news. There you go. You got 34 strikes out into Bexar County right now. So that's another real strong indicator. This has just transitioned over to rain, and that's all we're kind of looking at, and we need that. That's the kind of rain we really needed. Nothing severe. We just need the rain coming down, water everything down really good, and give us a good way out of October, because we were running below the normal, seriously, for October and for the year. We were running below normal, and so this is definitely going to give us some rain. So the only active warning that we've got working is this one a little bit further back out here to the west. That's the only one that we see really happening, and that is going on till 1:30 in the morning, and that's back up here. Let me turn that back on again. There's the 1:30 one. You have the flash flood advisory that they put up because of that heavy rain until 2 o'clock in the morning. And again, that's out there in Val Verde County, just for the Del Rio area, back up to into Comstock. We had that estimated rainfall rate that came down in buckets, and so they've got a little bit of an advisory out up until 2 o'clock in the morning. And we're looking at the severe thunderstorm warning up till about 1:30. Meanwhile, up here for Bexar County, things are looking pretty good. We're just into the rain category at the moment. Nothing really big happening for the region other than just some good rain coming out. Now, if you've got some plans for activities tomorrow, keep in mind the grounds are going to be wet. So if you're going someplace where it's just grass and lawn and stuff like that, get ready. That may be a little bit on the muddy side, but I do know we have quite a bit of activities scheduled for tomorrow. A couple of parades, homecoming parades, and things like that coming out. You'll be okay for that, but if you're going out over the ground, over the areas there where the water came down, it's going to be a little muddy for you. Here's a picture. If you notice that picture sitting off to the side there. Downtown San Antonio, we're getting some rain. We're looking at our TransGuide imagery coming through. There's Boardfield Road. Most of the rain has kind of stopped there. You get a little bit further down, you can see some of the rain beginning to stop. It's just wet roadways that we're kind of left with up there on the Bulverde side. There's Overlook Parkway. Not seeing too many raindrops there coming down, just some light rain. Still raining a little bit over toward Redland Road, but not a whole lot. You can see a little bit. Still raining out toward Bulverde. As that system pushes out toward the east. Back at Emerald Forest, looks like that rain may have started to back off a little bit. There's another look at Redland, where at 1604, where you still got a little bit of rain, and of course you've got some lightning going on out there as well. But again, only 39 strikes out into Bexar County. The heaviest amount of lightning, well up toward the north, up just north of Gonzales, off of 281 out toward the east. And again, out with that big storm out toward Del Rio, that's where we have the most lightning going on. But there's still a few little strikes in and around Bexar County, but not a tremendous amount. We've got some rain coming through, and it is welcome rain at this point, particularly for the county, particularly for the aquifer. The aquifer really needed that help. We have plenty of water in the recharge, but you know, when you get help like this from Mother Nature, it works out really well. Working here that is severe, that's out till 1:30. You got that little flash flood advisory out till 2 o'clock. The big area in yellow underneath all of that is a flood watch. Again, it's just a watch. It's not a warning, and it just says we're watching here for the potential to get some heavy rain in, and we've had some heavy right here up in the Bexar County. And again, the reason because of that is because this system is moving so fast. There was a couple of cells we noticed that were moving eastward at around 58 miles an hour. A general line movement went from 35 to 37 to 47 miles an hour at some spots, and just cruising along. And the radar was telling us up at 2,000 feet, the winds were up there at about 80 miles an hour. Now, you don't see that, but it does translate down to the surface into maybe a 40 mile an hour wind or 35 mile an hour wind, and that's what we were seeing. We were seeing 45, 47, 33, 32 mile an hour gusts down at the surface and some stronger winds. We did get a report of those power lines being down up in Blanco County, just off of 281. Don't doubt that the least bit, because that's where the stronger winds went through. Earlier, we had those little tornado warnings up, no reports of tornadoes on the ground, but what happens is these systems, they come through really fast like that, and you get that air that starts to spin, and you just can't ignore that. So you've got to put out some type of warning. Even though it's not a real deep spin, it's enough to kind of set off the warning bells just in case. So those were up, but no real tornado reports that we've received so far. But more than likely, we're going to see some wind damage, or at least some wind reports come in over the next 24 hours. More than likely branches, trees, power lines, things like that were likely down. We're getting a report now. The rainfall rates are dropping dramatically. Down to less than a quarter of an inch of rate in an hour in some places, which is good. Again, we're looking at our connection here to the Weather Service office and to our other reporters, and that's what they're kind of showing us, that things are just kind of breaking down a little bit and kind of slowing down, which is good. We kind of need that. Just get the good rain and get it going. Did have a report a little bit of some water over the road at 281 southbound out there near Trinity, but it seems like that may be okay at this point. We're not seeing too much showing up on the TransGuide imagery. We are watching the rain as it's moving through. Again, good rain for us. Let's get back over and take a look at Del Rio and see how that system is doing. And that's still packing a little bit of a punch there as it gets up to into Brackenville. Let's slow that down. We'll put that into the stop mode. Boy, that's kind of popped up quite a bit. Now we got 500 lightning strikes with that, so that system is still packing a punch. Let's pull that out and let's go take a look at the echo top on that. We'll pull the lightning out. Let's see how strong that is. Oh boy, yeah. You can see that color there is really, the darker color, that's what shows you the higher tops on that. And that's probably in the 40,000 foot, yep, there it is, 46,000 feet. You've got one little area there that looks like it's a 50,000 footer, just on the little edge. Yep, right there. Just on the little edge, you got a small area of 50,000 feet. So at 40,000 feet there, this thing is sloping upwards. In other words, you've got 40,000 feet sitting up on this side, and right up there you got a little peak that just pops up at 50,000 feet. That's 10,000 foot difference. So that thing is just straight up like a stovepipe, sticking up into the air out there. So when it gets to be this big, more than likely you've got some hail underneath there. So that's our next stop. We're going to pull that out. We're going to take a look at the areas here. Let's see if we can pull this back. And come take a look at our hail analysis. There you go. So this is the area of hail. Now, does that correlate with, yeah, it doesn't quite correlate with that big echo top out there. It's on the southern end of the storm. Maybe the radar's picking it up at a little different location. But hail can be anywhere in that big storm. And so this looks like some good size hail out here. Yeah, it's 1.7, almost 2 inches of size hail sitting up here just north of Pinto. And further back up the line just a little bit, we're looking at 1 inch size hail. And it comes down to about a ½ inch. So yeah, this storm system has got some hail in it. Let's see, over the last 3 hours. So it just developed it. So we're going to reduce that down to about the last hour. Let's take a look at the last hour of work here. Yeah, it really popped up over Del Rio. There you can see the large hail. Comes over Johnstown, drops out, restarts, drops out, comes back. So that gives you an indicator. These storm systems kind of pulse. They pulse up and pulse down a little bit. So we'll see if that hail pops up, and if we get anything greater than that 1.7 going into Brackettville, because that looks like the pattern is going right up into the Brackettville area. So we're going to keep an eye on that. All right, so that's the hail. That is the echo top. The next thing that we're going to look at is our precipitation rate. Boy, that is estimating to come down. That is putting down some heavy rain. There's 7 inches, 7 inches. Now keep in mind, it's not sitting still, so it's not putting 7 inches down. It's telling me this is heavy rain that can fall in this area. And since it's moving forward, roughly 25, maybe 27 miles an hour, it's not going to drop that 7 inches of rain in that one spot. But it is going to drop some rain down. So that's heavy rain coming into Brackettville, leaving Del Rio, going into the Brackettville area this evening. So we're going to watch that as it cuts across at that point. That'll be the big thing that we're going to need to watch. Okay, so that gives us precipitation rate. That gives us echo tops. And the only thing we need to look at is an estimate of rain that's fallen so far. So here's our rain that's fallen so far. And it seems like the heaviest rain out there with that storm system has been up here near Carta Valley. Oh, let's see. What do we got? That is about 6.7 inches of rain. There's 6.5 there. All right. A little further south, we're looking 4.5 almost. Okay, so let's come down a little further. Come in. That's north of Johnstone, right up in the Del Rio area. And again, these are estimates on the radar. That's 280. That's 220. There's in Del Rio itself less than an inch. There's that big rain there at 440. There's 290 up at Pinto, less than an inch. Brackettville, about an inch, a little over almost 2 inches of rain there. North of Brackettville, we've got 2.5 inches, a little over 2.5 inches of rain. So yeah, as we said, that storm system is putting down some rain. So we're going to likely see a pathway there, some heavier rain moving with that storm system directly east through the time over the next hour or so. All right, so let's pull that out. We'll go back up here. We'll put the radar back in, and we'll put that warning back in underneath that. That goes until 1:30. It is 1:12 now. More than likely, they're going to extend that out just a little bit. We're going to see that go out eastward, because this storm still looks like it's packing a little bit of a punch. And there it is. Did they update it? Looks like they're getting ready to update it. Yeah, they've updated it. And that is, they've made it a little smaller. Okay, let's get in here and take a look at that. Let's pull that out. They've kind of changed up the pattern a little bit. Now, this pattern shows that it's really not moving forward too much, or that they anticipate the system is going to fall apart rather quickly, because it's 1:30. They've not extended this thing further eastward. They've kind of kept it right there in that same place. So if that's the case, let's come back up here and take another look at this. And go back for the last hour. That's moving at a pretty good clip. All right, let's estimate that time. Okay, we'll estimate it right there. And we'll move forward. And 35, yeah, we're going to call it 35. 35 miles an hour, that's how fast that one's going. So at 35, it's not going to drop a whole lot of rain in any one spot very much, but it's going to drop some rain down. And if it were to hold together, 35 miles an hour, it would be over in Spofford at about 128, 217 would be at Klein, 236 would be in Blewett. So we'll see what that. Of our place. North side. Okay, so we've got a water rescue going on at Sahara, 10,000 block of Sahara. Apparently we've had enough, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. We've talked about that we could get some of those low water crossings that would fill up rather quickly, and you really had to be careful up there. So that's kind of what we're seeing tonight. 10,000 blocks of Sahara up here up on the north side. We've got a high water rescue going on. So yeah, you got to be careful out there, folks. You have to be very, very careful. Let's get back over to Bexar County and take a look at precipitation rate, just see how much rain is still coming down. And again, it's moving fast, but we still had some periods there. You see these pockets of real heavy rain that have come through Bexar County. There you can see that. Right up there on that north side, it was really coming down. Let's do some estimates of rain. Some little spots really got some good rain, and there's a little spot right there. That's 1.5 inches. There's another one right here that's 1.3 inches. So these little areas, keep in mind, there's a lot of low water crossings up there, and when you get rain that comes down really, really fast in these regions, yeah, you're going to get those little low water crossings that are going to fill up rather quickly. And that's what we're seeing. So again, high water rescue rather, being reported up at Sahara, 10,000 block of Sahara back up on the north side here of Bexar County. So again, I want to urge you, please be careful if you're going to be driving out tonight. You have to drive any time in the evening hours tonight. It'll take a while for that water to get down and go down a little bit. So some of these low water crossings are going to be full out across the region as we see this system going through. So again, let's go back to radar. It's still raining pretty good, and we're going to get some good heavy rain, good pockets of rain. You can see it up there from northeast Bexar County, cutting across to the south. It's already moving down there. Garza Crossing down to Lytle. You're getting some good rain. The only place that really hadn't seen any good rain yet, right there in this deep into southeast Bexar County out near Elmendorf. But your time is coming. It's like we were earlier on the live shots on Facebook Lives. There are a lot of people saying, well, I don't think we're going to see rain. I'll see it when I believe it. And my response was, I think you're going to believe it tonight because everybody was in line to get some rain tonight. Good news is up on the northwest side, just some little pockets still left over. Most of that heavier rain right up there near the Hollywood Park area up 281, and then back over toward the west of that, in between Cross Mountain Ranch and Hollywood Park. There's a little pocket there of some heavier rain that's kind of moving through. So keep in mind, this is where all those low water crossings are located. There's well over 180 low water crossings out in Bexar County. And these fill up rather quickly when you get these type of rain events into the area. So I can't urge you, strong enough urge. You get water over the road, turn around, don't drown. You don't want to get involved in that at all. Meanwhile, back up for our friends in Del Rio, there's heavier rain that's still going on, and we're transitioning out to a rain event. So let me just kind of pull that out. It looks like most of the rain should be, it's 118 now. I'm thinking by 2 o'clock, this rain pattern will likely pull out of Bexar County, but we're going to be watching for this little second batch of rain that's going to be coming in. And it's like we said, we saw a little break there around 3 o'clock on the models. And likely that break is going to happen between 2:30 and 3. Then we'll see this next little batch come through. And after that, it doesn't look like there's much on the other side of that. There's still a little bit of activity up near Comstock going up, but that may be the last little batch that we see on the models. We haven't really looked at them in a while. Let's get back up here and take a look at the high resolution to see if that has changed any. We saw the update a little earlier We usually get an update on these every hour or so. So let's see if we can kind of focus this up. This looks like it's going to change time on me. So let me see if I can fix that for you really quick so that we can get a little bit better time. We'll do, there we go. And we'll put today on that. There we go. So there's that pattern. Again, showing a little break. This one's still showing the break right around 3:30, 4 o'clock. But notice that little second batch that comes out on the computer models. Really not picking it up at Del Rio right now. And it's there. It does develop it here. So that model's a little off on that second batch, but it does show that batch coming through. So that's one thing we just kind of need to watch. Computer models are good, but they're guidance. They just kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Let's take a look at the second one. This is the graph model that we also use. We run this one in-house on computers, and again, I have to change the time on that because it was looking at a 8 o'clock time frame. So we'll put it to today, and we'll switch that time frame over to 1 a.m. And there's the graph model. That's not quite picking up on that Del Rio one. It's there, but it's not quite as it looks. But it does show that little break coming in a little later, and then carrying that rain and kind of fading it out by the 6 o'clock hour. So the models are there, again, as guidance. And when we look at reality, that's what we really see, and we kind of base our forecast based upon what we see happening and try to balance that out with what the model is trying to tell us. And right now, the model's telling us this thing is going to move east. It's still going to push out, and we've got this little batch here that it's really not picking up on. The model's not picked up on this little storm system that's sitting out here. And this little guy's still packing a little bit of punch. Still has plenty of lightning with it. Let's get back up here and take a look at it. There's 580 strikes with this little guy. And yeah, that's pretty potent. It's got a nice strong little signature to it. All right, let's go take a look at the ecotop, see if that's changed any. Remember, we saw that one little batch of 50,000 footer, most of it coming back in at around 40,000 feet. So let's take a look. The shape has changed just a little bit. Okay, I'm seeing that. I don't see the 50,000 foot. I don't see it anymore. Looks like it's gone. We're down around 41,000 feet. That's 41, 41, and 36. So if we see this dark orange here, which is basically the 40,000 foot mark right up into here. If we see this start to shrink out, then we know that this storm system is beginning to lose some of its energy. It's starting to collapse on itself. And sometimes when they collapse on themselves, they tend to fall apart rather quickly, and right underneath it, that's where we get some strong winds as it collapses. Just kind of think of it as a bowl of Jell-O. You turn it over upside down and it hits the floor and it goes a big splat. That's kind of what happens with these storms once they start to collapse like that. All right, we've got another one up here near Hondo. That one's looking like it's trying to do something. I see a little 50,000 footer on that one as well. There we go. Yeah, it's 45,000 feet. It's still trying to do something. It's at 45,000. Again, we'll watch this one also to see whether or not it begins to break down and lose a little bit of its energy. But we have two of them that are still have a little, still packing a punch. If you look over Bexar County, you'll see, you got some yellows kind of showing up. That's all in the 30,000 foot range. So that's more of a good rain cloud. And that's good. That's not a severe cloud. That's not a hail cloud. It's a good rain cloud. But we do have to watch this one back out here that's a little bit further back out. So let me pull this back. And let me just put that into motion for the last 3 hours or so. We'll take a look at that. yeah, that one little storm up there had packed up quite a punch. Particularly that one up there near Hondo, because look right there, you can see some little reds. That's when it was picking up near that 50,000 foot mark. That's when it was pretty strong right in there. And now it's losing them. Okay, so we may see a trend downward on that one. So that one may be trending down as well. It's just, it's not quite as obvious on a single frame like that. Okay. So we've got that going, so now we've looked at all of those. Let's come back up and we'll put the radar back in. We'll put the warnings back up. And pull this back out here, take the echo tops out. And let's put this into motion and we'll see what it looks like for the last 3 hours. So that's a quick movement. That's moving pretty fast. Let me give it 5 hours worth of time so we can kind of see what the total evolution of this thing was. So you can see how fast it moved. It really picked up speed. The top half of that really picking up. That's what that top half, that's what we were looking at. One cell moving almost 60 miles an hour in that cell up there as it came through Kerrville, which is why they had that strong wind come through it. But the bottom half of that half that came through Bexar County, just kind of lagged behind a little bit and lost some of its energy. But it still brought some good rain, and we're still seeing pockets there of little heavy rain that's going to be moving through. And so that's going to push on the way down to the south and southeast of us. And we're going to be looking at some rain for our friends up here in Kennedy, Karnes City, and Pleasanton, and over in Floresville, and back over to Gonzales. You're already seeing some rain. So people in Cuero, Victoria, back over to Goliad, and eventually Beeville, you're going to be looking at some rain. Pleasanton will be getting rain some shortly here as well. Now, it won't look like it's going to be severe or serious, but looks like it's going to be some pretty good rain coming your way out across the area right about now. So things are looking good. We're seeing some of the rainfall rates kind of drop off a little bit. Definitely seeing the lightning strikes dropping off in some areas, but we do have those two little strong storms that are still kind of hanging out across the region. Looking at some of the TransGuide imagery, you can see we still have some slick roads out there. Again, I can't urge you enough to please be careful on those slick roadways. Slow your speed just a bit. If you get to a place where it looks like there's water on the road, just don't go that way. Just turn around, don't drown, go somewhere else. You don't want to be a part of that. We've already had that high water rescue report up near Sahara. You still have some rain that shows up in some areas of town, particularly down toward the south, as this system pushes on through. And again, any low water crossing is going to fill up rather quickly with these little pockets of heavier rain that are coming down. So you want to take it easy. You want to be careful as you approach some of those low water crossings. Even late into the morning after the rain's moved off, it's going to take a little while for that water to go down. So you're going to want to be careful as you're doing that. Again, looking out of Bulverde, it looks like we got a little bit of rain there, kind of tapering off. There's Emerald Forest. Don't see a whole lot of rain there. Redland looks like just slick streets, not seeing too much in the way of rain. Coming out across Redland Road right now, looks like things are starting to back off across northern Bexar County, along 1604 up to the north, with most of the rain now concentrated out over Highway 87 east, 281 south, 37 south. That's where we're seeing most of the rain coming across. You've got a little bit across Highway 90 going back over into Hondo, and then down toward 281 south, going down toward Pleasanton, back out into the Poteet area. That's where we're seeing some rain there. There's 181. Of course, you got a little bit of some rain there down toward the south as well, but it looks like things are starting to back off just a tad across northern Bexar County, so we're getting a little bit of a break there before that next little batch comes in. So our break might be coming a little early. We're sitting here at 128. That's what we're looking at. So let's see what we've got here. Let me check the Weather Service folks here really quick to make sure that we got this. We've got some folks that want to look at the south side of San Antonio. Sure, why not? Let's take a look. This is the south side. You've got some heavier rain coming through there right now. And again, it's just good rain. It's not serious, but it could fill up those low water crossings rather quickly out there across the south side, all the way from Von Ormy out to Casson over to Elmendorf, down 281 south, Highway 16 south, from Lytle all the way across. It's going to be a little bit on the muggy side, wet side going down through there. So be really careful as you get down into that area, particularly if you're going to be driving around. You want to be careful. Those low water crossings will fill up rather quickly out across that region. So again, good rain coming down. I mean, good rain coming down overall. So it looks like we've got some good help for the aquifer coming in. That's a good look at the south side right now. That's going to help the aquifer quite a bit because it went right up over it. We've got some good rain. It wasn't a tremendous amount, but there's some little pockets there where you got a little bit over an inch, which is not bad at all. So again, a little bit of a break, it looks like, for north side of Bexar County. We're likely to get a little bit of a break here in between in the next 30 or 40 minutes because we've got that next little batch of rain that's coming in. And that looks like it's weakening just a bit. So again, just looks like rain coming across the area. Again, can't urge you enough to please drive carefully if you're going to be out there on the road and getting going and seeing what's going on. Let me double check with the Weather Service office again and see what we've got, any reports coming up. Don't see anything yet. All right, let's double check here. Double check here. And I don't see much happening there. Okay. Just some reports coming in that rainfall rates are dropping across northern Bexar County. Yep, I can see that. And that's about all we have at this point. Again, don't have any reports from the Weather Service office yet about any tornadic damage, but apparently there's some things that are coming up on Facebook. Caller is saying that potentially up into Fisher, there's a little bit of damage there to a house. More than likely, that was caused by straight line winds as they get up there. Because the winds there were pretty strong, and if you get hit by a straight line wind, those straight line winds can do some damage. They can pull power lines down, they can rip roofs off the houses, and more than likely that may have happened here back up toward Fisher, in Fisher, Texas. That's up in the 800 block there of Sundown Trail. So again, likely going to see some reports of damage coming in the morning from the straight line winds that punched through the region north of Bexar County. We got lucky here in Bexar County. We actually didn't see too much of that. Most of that was up north of us as we watched that happen. So again, we'll watch to see what the reports will be as they come in later in the day. But for now, transitioning over into rain, we're getting a little bit of a break into Bexar County. It's starting early, as we kind of said it would, because things moved a little bit quicker than what we initially thought. So there you can see that rain kind of breaking up just a little bit. We've got that little batch that's out toward the west, and that looks like it's starting to lose a little bit of its energy there. It's red, but you know, it's not as red. And it looks like it's coming down. So let's put this into the stop mode real quick. We'll get over here and we'll take a look at that. And we'll see what that looks like. And let's first of all go take a look at those echo tops. Remember, they were up there near that 50,000 foot mark. And what did I tell you? The oranges are going away. That's the leftover orange. That's the 41,000 footer. Okay, so I'm losing a lot of the oranges. That means my storm is coming down. It's weakening. And by the time it gets here, it may be only in the 30,000 foot range, which means we're just looking at rain that's coming, which is good. We can use the rain. We can use every little bit of rain that we can get. So that's what I'm looking at. The one up here at Hondo still has a little bit of orange in it. We're going to watch that. That is the trajectory on that. That's still going eastward, generally eastward through that. So I would say if we're looking at a general eastward movement, right up here across southern Bexar County. So if you're up here in Lytle, in Divine, Palo Alto, I'll go ahead and put Castroville in there. I know D'Hanis is in there somewhere. Somerset, you guys look like it's going to get some rain. And if this holds together long enough, that's going to punch down some pretty good rain for you guys. Let me just check the precip rate underneath that. There it is right there. The most it's raining an hour, 3 inches an hour, 3.5. So it may put down an inch of rain if it comes through there. Because you got to remember it's moving, it's not sitting still. If it were sitting still like that, yeah, it would put down those 3 inches of rain, but it's not. It's moving, and it's moving at a pretty good rate. Yeah, it's coming. Okay, let's pull that back. All right, let's clear this out. And we'll take a look at this as it's coming through. There you can see it. So again, moving more east-southeast. The line's moving southeast. Some of those cells are bringing rain in. Yes? Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just want to reiterate again, we've got that damage is reported up in Comal County off a 800 block of Sundown Trail up in Fisher. The caller there said their roof was gone entirely, so they had to evacuate the house. Right now, we haven't had any reports of tornadoes, but we've had definite reports of straight line winds. So this could either be a very quick little QLC tornado that popped down or straight line winds. And we'll have to wait for the Weather Service office to get out there to do a damage assessment before they can actually come up with what really caused that roof to lift off the building. But usually straight line winds can do that. I've seen straight line winds tear off the roof of a building really quick because those straight line winds can be really strong. All right, so let's give you one last look at what we've got here before we wrap things up. We've got crews on the way out there to Fisher, and they will have that story for you as soon as we can, a little bit later on in the morning. But I'm going to roll this out. We'll show you the last 5 hours of data. There you can see the rain. Again, it looks like we're getting a nice little break, particularly right up here across northern Bexar County. And we're getting some good rain moving down toward Wilson County, Atascosa County. We've got another little batch coming from the west, but that one looks like it's weakening out. So it's just going to be rain, which is good news. So that means the aquifer goes up. Everything, all the plants are going to be happy because you get some good water coming in. The only thing I want to urge you to do is watch out for those low water crossings out there. Please drive slow, slow your speed on those slick roadways, and be careful. We'll be here throughout the evening, and we'll give you the update on that home up there in Fisher, Texas, as soon as we get it.
I didn't put up any of those pictures of you, Samantha. My mother did.
Here's another one with dear cousin Serena. Hey, how about her?
Oh, Mother made up her mind. It's got to be you.
Don't you ever talk back to your mother?
Of course I do. Lots of times.
Good. Then all we have
Talk
to
back
do
to her when she's asleep or in the shower. You should have heard me tell her off when she was down on the earth with you. I was magnificent.
Groovy.
It's amazing with a mother like that how I turned out so well adjusted.
Juke. There's one thing we can do.
What's that?
You'll have to stand up to her.
Think of another thing to do.
Oh, come on, Juke. You can do it. Just try.
You're wrong. I can't change the pattern of a lifetime just like that. After all, the roots of my cowardice run deep.
You're a warlock.
No, warlock, schmorlock.
Juke, look. Maybe if you'd act like a warlock, you'd begin to feel like one.
Well, I guess I can try.
What did you say?
I said, I'll try, Samantha.
That's better. Now, let's practice. Just pretend that I'm your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
We've devoted our professional lives to righting wrongs.
Where a company or a person has harmed another.
For decades, our firms had the most doctor lawyers in the country.
And for decades, we've won some of the largest verdicts in American history.
We've gotten corporations and governments to reform.
So our community and our nation is safer.
Making people's lives better is a high honor and a great calling.
At GovX.com, this is what service looks like. And this, because service wears many uniforms. If you or your spouse served, military, first responders, or government, you've earned more than respect. At GovX.com, unlock special savings on the brands you trust, because your service should be rewarded every day. Over 2,000 brands, thousands of exclusive discounts just for you. Savings for those who serve. Join for free today at GovX.com.
Are you using or thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Don't overpay. Our pills deliver the same results for less than $2 a pill. That's right, only $2. Say goodbye to paying $20 or more for a pill that you can get for a fraction of the price. With our pill, you can save $18 per pill and get the same great results. How about this offer? For just $99, you will get 50 blue or yellow pills. That's a savings of over $900. Come on, imagine everything you can do with that money. Stop overpaying for expensive prescriptions like Viagra or Cialis. Order now and save big for the same result. Ordering is fast, easy, and discreet. Call the number on your screen, have your debit card ready, and your discreetly packaged pills will arrive straight to your doorstep. Order today and we'll throw in 10 extra pills for free. Don't wait, call now and start enjoying the benefits of our pills. Call now to order.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe. If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. That's why you got to call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid. Pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-209-3175. Antenna TV has television with good taste.
That's delicious.
Visit us for breakfast.
Would you like some coffee and a bagel?
Be our guest for lunch.
We're having macaroni and tomato sauce.
Let us serve you supper.
Pass me the moo-moo pan.
Day or night, Antenna TV satisfies your classic comedy cravings.
You want a brownie?
So the next time you're asked,
What are you making for dinner tonight?
make sure your answer is Antenna TV, television with good taste.
After Homoglow cleaned our place for $19, we fired our old housekeeper. Homoglow tackled everything, from our kitchen to our bathroom, all our laundry. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
Mother, let's get one thing straight.
Duke, dear, you're blocking my son.
Oh, yes, ma'am.